Yeah, hello class. Today in this lecture we are going to study RC circuit. This is for JEE, NEET and board exams. First of all, I'll introduce myself. I am Vivek Chauhan. I have done my BTech and MTech from IIT Kharagpur, and since my graduation, I have been teaching physics for uh, JEE and NEET. Many of my students are also studying in different IITs. Now we will start the session. First of all, what is an RC circuit? This is a circuit, elect- uh, uh, technically speaking, it's electrical circuit which contains both resistor and a capacitor. It will have both of the things. Now there are two types of RC circuit. Uh, First one is the charging circuit, and the next one is the discharging circuit. For a charging circuit, this is the typical circuit diagram. Here it is a switch, and we can see a resistor and a capacitor is connected in series in our case. It is connected with a DC source which provides a potential difference of V. Now, as soon as the switch is closed, this source starts supplying a current I. This current passes through the resistor, and over the capacitor, a charge Q will start accumulating. The charge plus Q will start accumulating over this plate, and a charge minus Q will start accumulating on the next plate. Okay. Now, at some random time, if we want to see what is the value of the, yeah, I was saying that the charge plus Q will accumulate on this plate, and the charge minus Q will accumulate on the next plate. Okay. Now, at some random time, let us assume the current flowing in the circuit is I, and the charge over the capacitor is Q. Now, following the Kirchhoff's law, if we write the equations, we will get this equation first. When we will move in the loop of the circuit, first let us start from this point. From this point, when we cross the battery, we have crossed the negative terminal of the battery, and we reach the positive terminal. So the potential difference we observe is plus V. Then later on, moving in the direction of current, when we will cross the resistor, we will observe a potential difference of minus IR. Then next, when we cross the capacitor, we are actually moving from positive plate of the capacitor to negative plate of the capacitor. So we will observe a potential drop of minus Q by C. And after crossing the capacitor, we will reach the same point. That's why it will be equal to 0. Now, doing some rearrangement, we uh, reach to this step. Now here we know that I is equal to dq by dt. It is the rate of flow of charge. So we have just replaced I with dq by dt in the next step. And after that, if we want to derive the um, expression for q, we will have to do some mathematics. In the next step, we are having v minus q by c is equals to r dq by dt. From the previous step, we are having this thing. Now what we'll do is we will take dt on the LHS part, and we'll keep dq on this side only. Next is take this term in the bracket on RHS and R on LHS, so that the same variable come on the same side. Okay. Now we know that the integration, we know the formula for integration of this kind of expression, dx by x plus minus some constant. We know the formula for this integration. Okay, so first we will have to uh, convert this expression somewhat like this. here we can see that the coefficient of x is 1. So we'll have to make the coefficient of q as 1. So what we did here is we multiplied it with c, and this c will go to the numerator, and since here there was a minus sign, we have taken -1 as common and we introduced it to the numerator part. Okay, so we will be left with this kind of expression finally. As soon as we reach here, now we are in situation of integrating the equation. So we will integrate it. Now we know that at t is equals to 0, there was no current and no charge in the circuit. So at t is equals to 0, the charge will be 0. At some random time t, we need to find the charge on the capacitor. So we have to find q at time t. After integrating, we will get this much on LHS and this term on RHS. Keep in mind, this expression has been written after putting the limits of the integration. When you will integrate this expression, you will get log of q minus cv, q minus cv, and we have the upper limit as q and lower limit as 0. So we will be left, when we will put the uh, limits of integration, we will have log of q minus cv minus of log minus cv minus cv. Yeah, we have put this limit to the variable part, which is done in the integration. This is the part of integration. Now, from the properties of log, we know log some term minus log some other term is equal to log of that term divided by the other term. Okay, so we will have this much on our RHS. Now, doing some rearrangement and solving the equation, we will reach up to here. Now, here what we see is we have a term CV. Now, this term is actually the maximum charge that the capacitor can have in our circuit. If the resistor was absent in the circuit, what would have been the potential difference across the capacitor? It would have been V, and the charge over the capacitor would have been CV. So if the resistance was absent from the circuit, CV was your charge on the capacitor. And later we will see that this will be the maximum charge that the capacitor can have. Okay, so here what we are left with, final expression comes out to be q is equals to q naught 1 minus e to the power minus t by rc. Till here, is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Till here, if it's clear, we will move ahead. Now, later in this expression, what we saw is we were having e to the power minus t by rc. Now, if we want to find the dimensions of RC, we will observe that it comes out to be the dimension of time. So this term has been given a name, time constant of the RC circuit. Okay, so our final expression reduces to q is equals to q naught 1 minus e to the power minus t by tau, where the terms have their usual meanings. Q is the charge on the capacitor, Q naught is the maximum charge that the capacitor can have, and tau is the time constant of the circuit. Now, when we'll see the initial conditions, like at t is equals to 0, when the switch was closed, e to the power minus t by tau would be 1. As soon as we will put t is equals to 0, it will become e to the power 0. So it will come as 1. Now, if you put this 1 in the expression for q, you will get a 0. because 1 minus 1 will give you 0 and 0 multiplied by anything will give you 0. Okay. Now next is what will happen at t is equals to infinity. First of all, t is equals to infinity is called the steady state. This is called the steady state of capacity of the circuit. Okay, this is steady state. So t is equals to infinity is called steady state. What will happen to the circuit in steady state? When you will put infinity in this power term, e to the power minus t by tau term, you will get e to the power minus infinity, and this is equal to 0. Okay, so you will have q is equals to q naught. Now this is now proved that in the steady state the capacitor will actually have charge q naught, and since the capacitor is having charge q naught, the potential difference across the capacitor will be v. Okay, so there will be no potential difference across resistor, and hence current in the circuit will be 0, which we will see mathematically in the next slides. Okay, now at what happens when the time is equal to the time constant of the circuit? You will be having this term. When you will put t is equals to tau, you will be having q is equals to q naught 1 minus e to the power minus 1. When you will put the value of e, you will get this much. So here it means that in one time constant of the circuit, the charge over the capacitor becomes how much? 63.2% of the maximum charge. Okay, so in one time constant you will observe that the charge over the capacitor is 63.2% of the total charge that it can have. Now the graph of the charge over capacitor increases exponentially like this. After a certain time it becomes saturated, and it will reach a maximum value which it cannot oversee. Now from here we will have the definition of time constant for a charging circuit. This is defined as the time in which 63.2% charging is over. Now keep the fact in mind that this is for charging circuit only. Okay, this is for charging circuit. For discharging circuit, this definition will change. So don't make it a hardcore rule that definition of time constant is always same. Okay, till here if it's clear, then I'll move ahead. Is it clear? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now next we'll see the charging current. Till now what we were finding, we saw the charging, we saw the charge over the capacitor plate. Now we will see what the charging current, what is the current which is passing through the resistor. Okay, from the definition of electric current, what we know, I is the rate of flow of charge, so dq by dt, and we have already found the expression for q, so we just put it here. Now when we will take this q naught inside the bracket, what we will have is uh, okay, now what we will have here is um, q naught minus q naught e to the power minus q naught e to the power minus t by tau. Okay, minus t by tau. Now when you will differentiate it, q naught is a constant, so the differentiation of q naught will come out to be 0. Now the differentiation of q naught e to the power minus t by tau will come out this much. Q naught is constant, that's why it will come out of the differentiation sign. Next is the differentiation of e to the power minus t by tau. You will get the same thing because it is an exponential term. Now you will have to differentiate this term and multiply it with the original expression. So differentiation of this term will come out to be how much? Minus 1 by tau, and that minus will become plus with after multiplying with this minus sign. Okay, so finally you will have plus q naught by tau e to the power minus t by tau. Okay, now we had tau is equals to RC. Previously we had given the product RC the name as tau, time constant of the circuit. Okay, so just putting the values, what we see is q naught by C is actually V, right? Because we were saying that q naught is the maximum charge that the capacitor can have, and its value was coming out to be q naught is equals to C into V. So we will have q naught by C. If we take this C on the LHS, we will have q naught by C is equals to V. Okay, we just put that value over here. Okay, after putting that value over here, we will find that on the LHS it is on the RHS it is coming out to be V by R, and that is nothing but the current. Yeah, we have V by R is equals to I naught. Actually V by R is the maximum current that will flow through the circuit, because if the capacitor was absent in the circuit, then what would have been the potential difference across the resistance? It would have been V, right? So V by R will give you the maximum current that can flow through the circuit, because uh, in that case the capacitor was absent and the no resistance was offered from the capacitor side. Okay, so we will have I is equals to I naught e to the power minus t by tau. Mathematically it can also be proved that I naught will be the maximum current flowing through the circuit. We will see that here at t is equals to 0, what is happening? E to the power minus t by tau will become 1. When you will put that value over here, you will get I is equals to I naught. Okay, now what happens in the steady state? Again, you might remember that t is equals to infinity was steady state. What happens in the steady state? As e to the power minus t by tau will become 0 at t is equals to infinity, which we saw previously also. When we will put this value in the original expression for I, we will get I is equals to 0. Now at the time constant of the circuit, it will come out to be 0.36 at 8 I naught, because e to the power minus 1 has the value 0.368. So what we see over here is uh, the current in the circuit reduces to 36.8% of its maximum value in one time constant of the circuit. That is the thing written over here. In one time constant, current in the circuit decreases to 36.8% of its initial value, which is actually the maximum value. Okay, now come to the steady state term. What is it actually? Does it literally mean t is equals to infinity? uh, let's say you have closed the switch of your RC circuit, the charging circuit. Will you have to actually wait for years to reach this portion of the graph? The answer is no. That steady state t is equals to infinity is a relative term. It is taken as compared to the time constant of the circuit. What do we had in tau? We had tau is equals to R into C. When you will solve the questions, you will find in almost all the cases, capacitance would be of the term of the order microfarad. Okay. Now, even if you are taking resistance in the order of kilo ohms, let's say kilo ohms, even then tau will come in the order of what? Milliseconds, right? Tau will come in the order of milliseconds. Now, if you are seeing your circuit after 2 seconds of the closure of switch, let's say you closed the switch and you saw your circuit after 2 seconds. This 2 seconds is how many times of this time constant? It is approximately 1000 times, right? It is approximately 1000 times. So we can say that this 2 seconds is infinitely larger than this tau. Okay, so as soon as you will close the switch and you will blink your eyes twice or thrice, and then you will see the reading of the circuit, you will find that the current has reached its saturation value. It has already become 0. Okay, so even if we are talking about very few seconds, it is actually the steady state of the circuit. Now, that was all about the charging circuit. I want to know whether you have any doubt till here or not. If you don't have any doubt, we will move ahead. Do you have
No
any
doubt,
doubts?
sir.
No doubts. Okay. Okay. We'll move ahead now. We'll go to the discharging circuit. Now here we don't have any source. We don't have any source which will provide us the current, the electric current. What do we have in this case is a fully charged capacitor. We have a fully charged capacitor. We have connected a resistance in series with it along with a switch. Okay. Now, as soon as we close this switch, what happens? This capacitor will start discharging. It will start providing the flow of charge, uh, which will flow through the resistance in the form of electric current. And since resistance is a passive element, it here the energy will dissipate in the form of heat, I square RT, Joule heating, and consequently we will reach a time when all the energy stored in the capacitor will be exhausted in the form of heat, and we will have nothing left over here. Okay, so initially the charge on the capacitor was q naught, and we have assumed that after some random time t, which is not actually t is equals to infinity, after some random time t, q is the charge left over the capacitor and I is the current in the circuit. Okay, now following the Kirchhoff's rule, we will write the equation. uh, we will have to take care here that here I is not dq by dt, it is actually minus dq by dt, because the charge on the capacitor is decreasing continuously. So putting this value in the parent equation, what do we have is minus r into uh, the current plus q by c is equals to 0. Okay, now doing some rearrangement, we will reach here, and after reaching here we'll have to integrate. As we know, at t is equals to 0, what was the charge over the capacitor? Q naught. After some time t, we need to find the charge on the capacitor. After integrating and putting the limits, we will have this thing, log of q by q naught, and here we will have minus 1 by rc into t by t minus 0. Again, what was rc? It was the time constant of the circuit. So we have just put this value over here, and in the next step we will have the final value of q. We will have the final expression for q. Okay, here we will have q is equal to q naught e to the power minus t by tau. Again, we will check what is the values of q at t is equals to 0, t is equals to infinity, which is the steady state, and t is equals to tau. At t is equals to 0, we will have e to the power minus t by tau as 1. So the charge on the capacitor when the switch was closed is q naught, which we also know logically. In the steady state, e to the power minus t by tau will become 0, so q will become 0. Now what happens at t is equals to tau? At t is equals to tau, e to the power minus t by tau becomes e to the power minus 1. So the q will become 0.368 q naught. That's why here the definition of uh, time constant changes. Okay, in this case, the time constant is actually the time in which the charge over the capacitor becomes 36.8% of its initial value. Okay, is it clear? Now, this is the graph of the capacitor, sorry, charge on over the capacitor. We can see it is decreasing exponentially, which is suggested by the equation also. It will decrease exponentially, and in one time constant, the charge over the capacitor, remaining charge over the capacitor is 0.368 q naught. So in this case, actually 63.2% of charge is getting dissipated, decreased from the capacitor. This much of charge decreases in this case. In the previous case, what was happening? This much percentage of charge was increasing, getting accumulated of the upon the capacitor, right? In this case, it is decreasing. Okay, this
Yes,
much
sir.
of this much of charge will get decreased. Now, in the next slide, we have the definition of the time constant for discharging circuit. Okay, here the time in which the charge on the capacitor reduces to 36.8% of its initial value, which was actually the maximum value, is called time constant of discharging circuit. Now, this was about the charge in discharging circuit. Now we will see the current in the discharging circuit. What was current? It was minus dq by dt because the charge was decreasing. We will just put the value of q over here, which we just calculated few minutes ago. And after differentiating, we will get this much, q naught by tau e to the power minus t by tau. And we also see previously that q naught by tau is coming out to be how much? I naught. So we will just put that value in the equation and we will get I is equals to I naught e to the power minus t by tau. We can see this is the same equation which we were having in case of charging circuit. So the graph will also be same as the charging circuit. This was all about the RC circuit when it is getting charged and when it is getting discharged. But when you will have some questions, it will not be so easy. Okay, you may find a circuit like this in which you will have more than one resistances. When we were studying the theory, we saw only one resistance there and one capacitor was there. We may find this kind of circuit where we will have more than one resistance. Then how to find the time constant, because we were writing tau is equals to r into c, right? Now what value of r will we have to put, r1, r2 or r3? Now the answer is you will have to do some calculations. Like first of all, you will have to short the EMF sources, voltage sources. Wherever there will be a voltage source in the circuit, you will have to short it. Okay, you have shorted the source. It is not present here, current sources. If it is present in your question, if you will find any current source in the circuit, you will have to open it. Okay, first what to do is short all the EMF sources, whatever number of batteries are there, short them all, short circuit. Now open all the current sources. If there will be any current source in the circuit, you have to open it. Okay, and draw the diagram separately after sorting the EMF sources, voltage sources, and opening the current sources. Then you will have the diagram. In that circuit diagram, you will have to calculate the equivalent resistance across the plates of the capacitor. Okay, finally you will have to calculate the equivalent resistance across the plates of the capacitor. Let's say here, give the name to the plates. Let's say this plate is A, this plate is B. Okay, So after drawing this circuit diagram, you will have to find the net resistance between A and B. Let us assume that net resistance will come out to be R equivalent. Then your time constant will be this much. Okay, tau will be C into R equivalent. Now let's find those that R equivalent. To find that R equivalent across A and B, what we will do is take this A outside, hold it and take it outside, take this C outside the circuit and draw the equivalent circuit. I will show you it is in the next slide. Yeah, we have taken that plate A over here and that plate B over here. Now we need to find the equivalent resistance between A and B, right? So we can see clearly now here that R1 and R2 are in parallel. So equivalent resistance for R1 and R2 will be how much? R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. And we can see that the equivalent of R1 and R2 is in series with R3. So what will be the total resistance between A and B? R3 plus R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Now, as soon as we are able to calculate R equivalent, we will get our time constant. That time constant will be how much? R equivalent into C, which will come out to be this much. Okay. That was all about RC circuits. You should practice some questions to be comfortable with this topic. That's all from my side. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me.
No doubt.
Okay.